would love to see him retire the way he is right now, on top of the world, because if he goes in there, like I said, I think he has no problem with Parker, but it's still going to be tough. It's still going to be difficult.
We've been trying for so long to get a world title fight. It's been so frustrating. No one
generally feel that, I think that I think Oleksandr Usyk was fill up the stadium.
You know what wasn't crazy, which I absolutely loved, was Joseph Parker's call out of Oleksandr.
Something big just happened in the boxing world, and it might surprise you. A well-known boxing coach is telling Oleksandr Usyk to stop now before something bad happens. He says Usyk should not fight Joseph Parker. Why? Because the fight could be too dangerous. The coach, Robert Garcia, thinks Usyk has already done everything in boxing. He believes it's time for Usyk to step away while he's still the best before things go wrong. According to him, this fight just isn't worth the risk anymore. Right now, Usyk hasn't said what he'll do next, but people are talking a lot about a fight with Joseph Parker. The WBO says the fight should happen, and Parker's team really wants it, but some people aren't so sure. They think this might not be the best choice for the Ukrainian champ.
Pushing it a little bit too much, but you've got to have your get out plan. When you go for work, there's a get out plan. I want to work this job for 7 years, and I want to go over here. So his get out plan is one more fight.
Robert Garcia, who used to be a world champion and now trains really good fighters, says Usyk can probably still beat Parker. He doesn't think Usyk is weak, but even then, he believes the fight is a bad idea. Usyk is 38 now, and his body has been through a lot. Garcia says one day, a younger and stronger fighter might be the one to finally beat him.
He's already taken a lot. He's 38. We're going to end up seeing him. If he continues fighting, we're going to end up seeing him against a young lion, totally dominating him because of his age, because of his body already. There's a lot of tear and wear in his body. And we're going to see a sad ending where that's what we're going to remember. I would love to remember him as the greatest of all time, because he's showing to be one of the greatest of all times.
He just doesn't want Usyk to stay in boxing too long and lose in a bad way that people will remember more than all the great things he did. Garcia's message is simple: stop now and go out like a legend.
For not wanting to continue fighting, because he's still on top of his game. He could still dominate many of those fighters, but sooner than later, his body is not going to respond. His body's going to be tired, and we're going to see maybe a
And it's not only Garcia saying this. Lewis Crocker, a young boxer from Ireland, also spoke up. He said there's really no one left for Usyk to fight. Usyk has already won it all, from Olympic gold to becoming a 3-time undisputed champ. Crocker said if it was his choice, Usyk should just relax, enjoy his success and money, and leave boxing behind.
Last one, can anyone in the world beat Oleksandr Usyk?
No. Who is there for him to fight? You know what I mean? Let's see if I was Usyk, just retire. He's literally did everything. He's 3-time undisputed, won the Olympics, won the World Boxing Super Series, yeah, bro, enjoy your money. You know what I mean? If he retires now, you could argue that he's the GOAT. You know what I mean? On resume,
But there's another side too. Joseph Parker is doing really well right now. He's strong, winning big fights, and he holds the WBO interim belt. He's one of the best and busiest heavyweights right now. If he fights Usyk, it would be a big and exciting match.
I do think it's a good fight. I also think it's a pretty dangerous fight for Usyk. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, what about these younger guys like a Moses Atuma? I think it's a little too early for them. Joseph Parker's a guy who's a seasoned pro. He's got a lot of experience. He's a former world champion. He's big for the weight class. He's athletic, and he's coming off a 3-fight win streak that, rivals any one of the top contenders right now. He KOs Martin Bakole in his last fight. He beat Zhilei Zhang before that, and Deontay Wilder before that. If anyone deserves a shot, it's Joseph Parker, and it's just unfortunate for him. He always seems like the guy who's on the outside looking in, doesn't ever get that shot.
Joseph Parker's coach Andy Lee talked about it and said Parker should get his chance. Lee also trains Tyson Fury, and he said if it was up to him, he'd want Parker to fight Usyk before Fury does. He said it's been really hard to get Parker a title fight, and Parker has worked super hard and earned it.
we've been trying for so long to get a world title fight. It's been so frustrating. No one can deny he doesn't deserve his chance. Apparently Usyk's on holiday, couldn't wait for him to come back. They got 30 days to engage in negotiations. I don't know. He just needs to fight, Joe.
Lee also said Parker might have to fight someone else if Usyk says no or loses his belt. People are talking about names like Filip Hrgovic, Dillian Whyte, or Moses Atama, but Lee doesn't think that's a good idea. He said none of those fights would be as big or exciting as fighting Usyk.
Whoever, could be forever. If it's a vacant title, like who are the contenders? Hrgovic if he wins, Moses if he wins, Dillian Whyte if he wins.
Do you like the fight?
People are also talking about Moses Atama. He's only 20 years old, but many think he could be the next big star in boxing. Even Lee said Moses is really good, but he doesn't want Parker to fight him. Lee thinks beating Moses won't help Parker much, and the fight is too risky. He also said if Moses loses badly, it could slow down his career. So in the end, Lee feels the fight is not good for either one of them.
For me, Moses is the future of the heavyweight division. For Moses, it's a risky fight. For Joe, it's a risky fight because there's no upside to beating Moses for Joe. There is. He's building his name. He's a significant heavyweight now, Moses, but he's an up and coming guy, and Joe's already at the top. So there's a risk for Joe, but there's a risk for Moses that he fights Joe, and there's never the same again coming back from it. You know, if Joe has his way and if we have a way, but it's a risky fight for both men, and it's an exciting fight. Maybe it's for the vacant title. It'd be worth it. It'd have to be worth it. You know what I mean? So.
David Higgins, who helps manage Parker's fights, really wants to get the Usyk fight signed before this year ends. He told Sky Sports that they still believe Usyk won't give up his title and go away. Higgins said if Usyk just walks away without fighting Parker, it would be kind of weak. He believes Usyk should give Parker a chance because being an undisputed champion means a lot, and not many boxers have done that lately. Higgins said we're still hoping Usyk fights Joseph next. He also said, some people think he won't, but I think that would be a soft move if he doesn't. Even Roy Jones Jr., one of the best boxers ever, shared his thoughts. He said Parker might be the hardest fight Usyk could face right now. Roy didn't say Parker would win for sure, but he believes Parker would give Usyk a really tough time. If Roy had to choose someone who could really test Usyk, it would be Parker.
I look at it like this for Usyk. Usyk is a guy who can do whatever he wants to right now. He vacated the IBF, he went and got it back. You understand me? So it's just fun for him right now, so he can do whatever he wants to do, and he can fight whoever he wants to fight. So if they demand him to fight somebody, they make it like they gonna force him to do it, he gonna say, forget y'all, take your belt and do what you want to do. I go back and get it when I get ready. You understand me? But Joseph Parker is the best fight for him right now because Joseph Parker is a guy who has the qualities and the experience that it would take to give Usyk the hardest time. I'm not saying he's gonna beat Usyk by no means, but he will give Usyk the hardest time of anybody. And if anybody, I think if they said
Roy Jones Jr. also spoke about Moses Atama. He said that Atama's next fight against Dillian Whyte is going to be a big test. Roy thinks if Atama wins that fight and one more, he could get a chance at a world title. But he also gave a warning, don't rush him. Roy talked about how another boxer, Jarrell Miller, lost early in his career because he moved too fast. He said it's better to wait and grow before taking on really big fights.
He's fighting a good fight with Dillian Whyte right now. This is the fight he needs to get that extra experience. So once he gets a few more experience fights, then you put him in with Usyk. You can't do like they did with the other kid, Big Baby from the US, and put him in too early because you're ruining him. You understand me? You can't put him in too early like that. So if you give him a few more test runs, Dillian Whyte is a great test run for him. If he does that, give him something a little bit higher than that, then you let him fight Usyk. Don't just rush him right to Usyk right now. Let Joseph Parker fight Usyk right now. Joseph Parker is in Usyk's time. This kid is coming up behind Usyk. When Usyk retires, this kid's still gonna be fighting.
Lastly, I do have to ask you before I let you go, what is going on with Floyd Mayweather, Roy?
I don't know what's going on with him.
Right now, the heavyweight division is kind of confusing. Usyk has all the championship belts, so everyone wants to beat him. But he's getting older, and some people think maybe it's time for him to retire. If Usyk doesn't fight Joseph Parker, he might have to give up one of his belts. That could make things messy again, with different boxers holding different titles.
Great fight. I still see Usyk obviously taking over and dominating in another one spectacular performance. But let's also remember that Usyk is 38 already. So me personally, I like Usyk. I've known him. He trained in my gym, in Oxnard, and they're great people. Him and Klimas, we nothing but respect for that team. I would love to see him
Frank Warren, who works with both Parker and Fury, says Parker should be the next one to fight Usyk, but the fight hasn't been set yet. If Usyk picks to fight Tyson Fury again instead, like a third big match, then Parker might have to wait. He could even end up fighting someone else for the title if Usyk gives it up.
I feel that, you know, I think that I think Oleksandr Usyk will fill up the stadium.
Really? Is that a Tottenham fight, yeah?
Yeah, I think he could do that. I really do. I think he's. I'm sure he can do that. What he's done. You know, people like him. The fans love him.
To be fair, Joe Parker's known to the British audience as well.
And Joe's there, and Joe's on a roll, and he's had a good run of wins. You know, it's a good.
So now the big question is this: should Usyk take one more fight and risk everything against a younger, tough fighter like Parker, or should he stop now while he's still a champ and has never lost as a heavyweight? It's not an easy choice. Some people like Garcia and Crocker want Usyk to quit while he's ahead. They don't want to see him lose just because his body can't keep up anymore. But others, like Parker's team and Roy Jones Jr., think the fight should happen. They believe Parker has worked hard and Usyk should defend his title one last time for the good of the sport.